Let's get some insight on the Menendez story and this trial. Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano is with us tonight. Judge, your thoughts on this hung jury?
Well, he faces a lot that's coming. The first is a decision by his former Senate colleague, Jeff Sessions, who's now the Attorney General, and it would actually go to that level as to whether they want to retry a sitting senator. They've spent several $1 million in the prosecution. They defended their case 3 times in the Federal Court of Appeals. It'd be difficult for me to see them just dropping this hot potato right now. The second problem that Senator Menendez faces is a likely primary challenge in the New Jersey senatorial primary, which is just 7 months from now in June of 2018. And his principal opponent will be somebody who once held the seat that he now holds, former New Jersey Senator Robert Torricelli. But I think the most troubling thing for him is the Senate ethics investigation, because the Senate Ethics Committee can look at allegations against Senator Menendez, which Judge Walz, the judge in the case, would not let the jury hear. And some of those are very lurid and are in the area of sexual activity with underage females.
Let me read Senator McConnell's statement, the majority leader. Senator Menendez was indicted on numerous federal felonies. His trial shed light on serious accusations of violating the public's trust as an elected official, as well as potential violations of the Senate's Code of Conduct. Because of the seriousness of these charges, I am calling on the Senate Ethics Committee to immediately investigate Senator Menendez's actions which led to his indictment. So there's where you say the trouble is.
Yes, and ordinarily the Senate Ethics Committee, or either ethics committee in either house, will not do anything while a criminal prosecution is going on. I don't think they're going to wait. They pretty much indicated they're going to start looking at it. They're not going to wait for a second trial or even a decision about whether or not there will be a second trial. They're going to begin that investigation, which will be a form of prosecution, probably right after Christmas.
But as it stands in the law tonight, Menendez is innocent in the law.
He is absolutely innocent. It's the reason, I think, for his jubilation. The government has to decide, do they want to spend this money and divert these resources, or do they have other things to do?
You said before that this judge kind of ran an unorthodox courtroom.
He did. He stopped at 3:30 in the afternoon. We usually try cases until 5 or 5:30, and he didn't sit on Fridays. That resulted in the exclusion of this juror who had a vacation, which resulted in the juror giving a press conference, unprecedented.
While it's still going on.
For us to learn what's going on in the jury room while it's going on, and for the jurors to hear what their former juror colleague said about them and to be tempted to respond and react to it. That is almost a recipe for a mistrial in itself. Now moot, because the mistrial was declared for other reasons.
But it was a tough case for the government anyway, wasn't it, after the U.S. Supreme Court decision on the McDonnell case, which is the Virginia governor?
Yes. Bob McDonnell was convicted. The conviction was upheld by the appeals court, and the Supreme Court unanimously reversed it and said the way the bribery statute is written, you cannot prosecute somebody who receives favors from political friends for doing their job that they would be doing anyway. There really has to be a quid pro quo. You want me to do this, you will pay me. Not, I'm going to do my job and you can pay for my daughter's wedding. So without that quid pro quo, that actual agreement of this for that, there's no bribery. Judge Walz felt that that did not apply here, and he allowed the entire case to go to the jury. Most of us who watch these things felt he should have thrown most of it out under McDonnell, but he didn't. There's a motion before him next week to do that nevertheless. That, if granted, would result in an acquittal, not a hung jury.
I want to play one soundbite from Senator Menendez talking about this process.
I've also learned about the incredible weight and power of the federal government and how it can crush you if it wants to. What office or department of the federal government gives me back the past 2.5 years of my life? Where do I go to have the damage they sought to encourage my reputation? Where is it? What department is it that replaces it?
It's interesting to hear him go through that and get emotional at times.
It is. These are very profound questions that he asked that will resonate with anybody who has any relationship to the criminal justice system, not just in New Jersey and not just the federal government. This happens all the time. And he's right. They damaged him in ways that could never be repaired, even by an acquittal.
Judge, as always, thank you.
Oh, pleasure, Brett.